JD Vance, the new vice president candidate, a prominent American political figure and author? Not really. Nobody knew about him 2 years ago. He gained national attention with his memoir Hillbilly Elegy, which details his upbringing in a working-class family in Ohio and Kentucky. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh. His journey from a troubled childhood to attending Yale Law School was a symbol of upward mobility and was particularly resonant among discussions about the socio-economic struggles in the Rust Belt. But I think, frankly, if he hadn't been catapulted into the Senate by Peter Thiel, then nobody would have read Hillbilly Elegy. That's why it's all sort of reverse engineered. He served in the US Marine Corps, but in the public affairs unit, before venturing into law and politics and venture capitalism. I think 3 firms, all of which were bankrolled by Peter Thiel, this billionaire and influential figure within conservative circles. Thiel, known for his libertarian, far-right views, mentored Vance, securing him position in these companies, including a biotech firm and the venture capital firms. And in each one, Vance was hardly a glowing success. Thiel, who names all his ventures after elements from Lord of the Rings, such as Palantir, and then JD Vance had his own company, which is called Narya, named after some element of the elves. I mean, it's obscure, Tolkienalia, but Thiel played a significant role in Vance's professional development. Vance was Thiel's intern, in effect, and despite criticism regarding Vance's effectiveness in finance, Thiel's support was instrumental in Vance's political ambitions in the Senate. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he was in the Senate at his first attempt, and he's only been in the Senate for 1.5 years. In 2022, with the endorsement of former President Donald Trump, who he had dissed publicly, JD Vance won a seat in the US Senate. So his candidacy was a reflection of the current Republican confidence and their anticipation of a political shift against President Joe Biden. And Vance's political views, they're not vote winners. His strong anti-abortion stance, advocating for a national ban on abortion. He's also expressed his concerns about the state of the American democracy, echoing sentiments shared by Thiel, who controversially claimed that freedom is not compatible with democracy. I would like abortion to be illegal nationally. We're in a late Republican period. There's an element of madness about the J.D. Vance thing. Vance's rise to prominence illustrates the interplay between economic influence, political endorsement, media portrayal in shaping contemporary American political landscapes, but mostly it's about the confidence of President Trump and the Republicans in the certainty that Biden will lose. So it doesn't matter who is the vice president candidate. It's somebody we can push around. It's somebody we can control. I think that's the Trump position. And there's nothing better for Trump than somebody who has changed his views and is prepared to literally copy the costume of Trump in order to gain acceptance. JD Vance is a mini-me. I find this, looking on from abroad, looking on from the UK at what's going on with JD Vance and Trump, I find this slightly disturbing. And then of course there's Boris trying very hard to be the national figure on the national stage alongside Trump and nobody caring. Well, there we are. Nobody cares here either.